First practice in Austria, and once again, it was a Mercedes on top of the timing tables. Kimi Antonelli, the current Drivers' Championship leader, best of the session with a time of 1 minute 7:7.96. On the way to that best time, he suffered a lock-up and went deep at turn 1. The Italian was forced to retire from the Barcelona-Catalunya Grand Prix last time out from P2. His nearest rivals, Lewis Hamilton and George Russell, clawing back big points as a consequence. The most important thing is how you bounce back, was the Italian driver's attitude on press day. He seems to have done that in FP1. Teammate George Russell was in P2, just 400ths back. The man who took honours in Spain, his first win for Ferrari, was Hamilton, and he was P5 this time out. He had a moment at turn 3. The seven-time champ is one of only 2 drivers to score points at every weekend so far this year, the other being Pierre Gasly. He went wide at turn 4 and touched some of the loose stuff.
Actually could have been worse there for Gasly, but he managed to slow it down with an armful of lock and missed the apex by miles.
Oscar Piastri was struggling with his stopping power.
I'm struggling quite a lot with these brakes. Like every time I hit the pedal, it's a lottery as to how much trouble I have.
Copy, understood.
It was worse for McLaren teammate Lando Norris. Mechanical problems meant the defending world champion missed most of the session, finally taking to the track with 14 minutes to go. He went fishtailing through turn 4 as the clock ticked down. Piastri finished P3, more than a 10th back from Antonelli's best time. Norris was P7, although that time was set on the medium compound tyres. Problems for Max Verstappen in the opening minutes, the 4-time champion's Red Bull stationary in the pit lane.
That's the problem. Every time I lose the clutch I get and so.
The Dutchman tried again a little later with similar results.
It sounds like it might be the same problem on both cars. They just can't get the cars to drive properly out of the pit lane. Something is tripping up the power unit or the transmission at the back of these Red Bulls, and it's a really big problem.
Once out on track, he still was not happy. Testing out softs left him underwhelmed.
Yeah, very low feeling basically. It's just tired, feel hot and work it.
He finished P4, almost 3/10 off the leading time. Teammate Isaac Hadjar finished 8 places further back. He went wide at turn 1 when looking to improve. As they had in Barcelona last time out, many teams put forward rookie drivers to take their mandated FP1 outings. It was the second race weekend in a row for F2 driver Dino Beganovic, who stood in for Charles Leclerc at Ferrari. Luke Browning's last opportunity went nowhere when he was given Alex Albon's Williams in Barcelona, which never left the garage. This time, he was allowed out in Carlos Sainz's FW48 for the hour. Paul Aron's Barcelona outing in Hulkenberg's car had helped him bag P6. The Alpine reserve was again in for Audi, this time replacing Gabriel Bortoleto. Japanese Super Formula champion Ayumu Iwasa took the controls of Liam Lawson's Racing Bull. Compatriot Ryo Hirakawa was in the Haas, usually occupied by Esteban Ocon, and Jack Crawford took Lance Stroll's Aston Martin out for a spin. Browning went deep at turn 3 and later again at turn 1. Beganovic was a little late on the brakes at the first corner and went long. However, he had the rookie bragging rights at the flag, finishing a fine P9. Fernando Alonso also had a lock-up at turn 3 and took his Aston Martin into the runoff, and later dipped a wheel into the gravel at turn 8. With no upgrades expected until Belgium and Hungary, the 2-time champ has accepted his position and restated his commitment to the project, saying, "We need to go through this pain." Sergio Perez had a couple of problems during the session.
Yeah, I lost ignition. It's everything back on.
And it got worse for the Cadillac driver later.
Again, I lost everything. It's back on again.
That problem ended the session a little earlier than expected, with the final standings looking like this. Antonelli topped from Russell, Piastri, Verstappen and Hamilton, with Lindblad impressing in P6 for Racing Bulls. Then came Norris, Colapinto, Beganovic and Behrman. Hulkenberg P11, and he was ahead of Hadjar, Bottas, Gasly, Iwasa, Albon, Aron, Browning, Hirakawa, Crawford, Perez and Alonso.